Typically, we teach how to handle serves with heavy sidespin backspin or sidespin topspin. However, we often overlook the semi-sidespin backspin serve, which you can actually push. For a semi-sidespin topspin, a push will pop the ball up. A pure sidespin topspin ball simply can't be handled with a push. If you push a ball like this, it will go long. So for this semi-sidespin topspin, driving it goes into the net. Pushing it pops up half long. And looping it normally makes it go out. It's the most frustrating serve to return. These are the trickiest serves because we neglect how to handle neutral spin. We tend to use extreme returns, drive, loop, or push, thinking every serve is either pure topspin or pure backspin. So with some neutral serves, your push goes high. And when you try to drive it, the ball goes into the net. These neutral spin balls are the toughest. It's likely your opponent isn't doing it on purpose, they just can't generate very pure or heavy spin yet. For semi-sidespin backspin serves, there are 3 ways to return. First, if you push a semi-backspin serve and the ball goes high, your next move should be to open your racket angle more vertically and push downwards. By pushing downwards, you prevent the ball from popping up half long. If you want to loop it, never use the same motion as for a heavy backspin ball, or it will go long every time. You must shorten your stroke. Use your fingers and wrist to brush the ball and generate your own friction. Reduce the size of your motion. Use less arm power to decrease the forward momentum. You can't be sure if it's more topspin or backspin. If you could judge it perfectly, you wouldn't be missing the return. You don't know the exact amount of spin, so just remember, if you want to push, keep your racket vertical and push down. If you want to loop, control your arm. Don't use your upper arm, use less forearm, and focus on using your wrist. Using your wrist helps you lift heavy backspin, while a compact stroke prevents the ball from going long against topspin. Making this general adjustment will solve the problem. Whatever you do, don't try to flat hit this ball, it's too risky. You have to either loop or push. Treat it with a neutral stroke, not as a heavy spin ball. Unless your opponent's serve motion is extremely focused and accelerated, you should assume the spin is neutral and not very heavy. So, focus on generating enough friction with a slightly more compact arm motion. This ensures the ball won't go long and that your friction will overcome the incoming spin, allowing you to clear the net. Watch me return this neutral ball again. I keep my racket vertical to push. It's the same for penhold grip. Look at the racket angle, keep it vertical. To loop it, use your wrist with a more compact motion. A normal loop might have a big swing, but here we shorten the stroke to prevent going long. Your return stroke needs to be neutral as well. Don't treat it as a heavy backspin or a topspin ball, and you'll have much more success. I've come to understand amateur players well. Most can't serve with very distinct sidespin topspin or sidespin backspin, so you will encounter these semi-spin serves very often. Here's a great technique for you. You all know how to drive and loop on both forehand and backhand. You're going to use a motion that's right in between the two. It's a bigger motion than a drive, but smaller than a full loop. The same applies to the forehand. A forehand loop against backspin is different from a forehand drive. You'll use a motion in between those two, add a bit of brushing friction, and the ball will land. When you get a semi-spin serve, your stroke should be larger than a drive but not as large as a full loop. Find that middle ground in your swing size. Then, just add some wrist action, and the ball will go over. If you try to simply drive it, it will go into the net. If you backhand fast loop, a bit of backspin will make it hard to lift. If you try a full loop, you'll get jammed because the ball has some topspin and will kick forward or up. Therefore, don't drop your racket too low. Find that middle ground. It's a half drive, half loop motion. But you must add friction. Without friction, you can't overcome the spin. Because you don't know if it's more topspin or backspin, this half drive, half loop is the perfect tool. When the ball comes, don't drop your racket too low. Add friction. If I try to flat hit this ball, it's definitely going in the net. Just use my method. You won't get jammed, and you'll get the ball on the table. The spin on these serves is generally weak. So with a compact motion, you first ensure you don't get jammed, then you add friction to get it over. It's the same on the forehand side. If you loop it normally, it might go long. If you try to hit it, it goes into the net. After 2 mistakes, you'll be completely lost. So what's the solution? I would use a stroke bigger than a drive but smaller than a loop, add some friction, and get it on the table. First, get your racket angle right. Second, use the tip of your racket. Watch carefully, this is when the whole forearm drops, which often goes long. Now, this is using just the racket tip. See how much spin that has? It's coming back. That's from using the racket tip. Contacting the ball with the racket tip is crucial, especially when you can't control the power or read the spin from a new opponent. When you're unsure of their serve, using your whole forearm can cause the ball to fly off. Then, to compensate, you just touch the ball, and it pops up high. Instead, keep your forearm stable and use just the racket tip. Watch. Lift it, and contact with the racket tip. This works great for penholders too. Use the tip, not your whole forearm. Keep your forearm braced and just use the tip. Master this. This is a key piece of wisdom learned from countless matches. It's extremely practical. For a standard backspin serve, you can just push normally. But for these semi-spin serves, brace your hand and use the racket tip to push. It's the same for forehand and backhand. When you get a semi-spin serve, a standard chop might go long, but a soft touch will give your opponent an easy high ball to attack. If your opponent keeps attacking your returns, use this racket tip technique. Lift the racket and make contact with the tip. Never just push forward. In a match, your hand is tense anyway, so you need to allow for that. Use the racket tip to make contact. The key feeling is that your forearm doesn't follow through downwards. As soon as the whole arm gets involved, you lose fine control over the power. Exactly. The rotation has to come from the racket tip. If you do that, you won't miss the table or misread the spin. Because my forearm is still in its ready position. Looping works well against many kinds of balls thanks to its high margin for error. For example, on a medium spin serve, I can add more impact or lift more, and I can still make the loop. Even with a more compact motion, I can still make the loop, because I'm generating enough friction. The friction is solid. As long as you generate enough friction, you can overcome the spin and create your own arc. Friction is what creates the arc. It's the tool to neutralize whatever spin your opponent gives you. Topspin, backspin, no spin, left side, right side, whatever it is. In table tennis, you either miss into the net or off the table. Once you have enough friction, you've guaranteed the ball will clear the net. Then, just control your power to keep it from going long. That's the secret to getting the ball on the table. This ability to create friction can handle any amount of spin, from 0 to 10. If the spin is very heavy, just make your motion a bit bigger, engage your arm and body more, and add more friction. That will solve it. No matter how heavy the spin is, you can lift it with just this wrist action. Look at this heavy backspin. If I push with a flat racket, it goes straight into the net. But even with spin this heavy, you don't need your whole body. Just this wrist and forearm flick can lift the ball, because your friction neutralizes the spin. Now let's take a side spin topspin serve. A normal push will obviously fly off the table. So what's the answer? As long as you generate enough friction, even from a low contact point, you can grip the ball and lift it. You can loop a topspin ball. You must understand that a proper loop works against both topspin and backspin. So, once you can reliably generate friction, your sensitivity to spin increases, and you can handle a much wider variety of serves.